This is Pocket Watching with JT.
Hey, Pocket Watchers. Welcome to Pocket Watching with JT. I am certified financial planner Jayson Thornton. That means I am a real financial advisor. I don't just play one on the internet. No, see, I do this in real life. At my firm, I specialize in tax and wealth planning for my clients. But on YouTube, I get to react to financial topics in the Black community. So first and foremost, thank you guys. I appreciate you joining this live stream. Big shout out to the over 100,000 of you who have already hit the subscribe button. I appreciate that. Now, let's get straight into the show. Tonight I have to do an update over the ongoing saga of this story about DJ Envy and Cesar Pina and the responsibility of these urban platforms when they introduce so-called reputable businessmen and businesswomen, because there has to be some sort of level of accountability when you introduce your audience to people who they think you vetted. Now, for those of you who are unaware, maybe you are unfamiliar with who this gentleman is. Before I dig into my notes, let me try to give this person their flowers. Who is this man? Well, this man's name is Cesar Pina. And apparently, he has an international best-selling book. I was unaware. I didn't know. I didn't know. He is an international best-selling author. It says it right there on the top of his book. So that has to be true, right? They don't allow people just to put anything on your book. If it says you're an international bestseller, well, damn it, you're an international bestseller. The name of the book, I believe this is like his autobiography. The name of his book is Flipping Keys. Flipping Keys. Now, for those of you who may be unaware of this, Flipping Keys is a subtle look at, drug trafficking. That's kind of where he's taking that phrase. But see, he's flipping the term, right? He's flipping the term, kind of like me, right? I took the term pocket watching, and I'm trying to flip the term from something negative to something more positive. Still petty, but a positive petty. And when I read this man's best-selling author, his autobiography, it's Flipping Keys. Well, he can't be talking about drug trafficking. He's saying he's flipping keys now, going from drug trafficking to real estate. That's what it means. Real estate. He's flipping keys because this man is a real estate mogul. A real estate mogul. But let me read the information that's on Amazon about the author. Now, this is information that the author gives to Amazon. Amazon doesn't vet the author of the people who upload books to their platform. They allow the author to put whatever little statement that they want. So this is what he has as who he is to his core. It says Cesar Pina started his real estate journey early 2006 and has since made a name for himself, giving inspiration and motivation to others who want to invest their money. Sounds pretty good. It says Cesar Pina partnered with DJ Envy, Power 105.1 in 2018 and started touring, creating seminars for people who want to learn the real estate business. Their seminars took place across the tri-state area. Cesar has been featured on The Breakfast Club, Good Morning American. I think that means Good Morning America. I think there's a typo. Might be a typo, Cesar. I'm pretty sure it's not Good Morning American. I think it's Good Morning America, but maybe there's two shows. I don't know everything. But Good Morning American and Billboard Magazine. They say that you can learn more about Cesar at his website, CesarPina.com. Now, don't move too fast trying to get over there to that website, because I tried to look at that website and apparently it's not up anymore. You just get an error message. There's no more CesarPina.com. I don't know why. I mean, a man who's as successful as he is, you would think he'd be able to keep his website up. But things happen, right? Things happen. This man is amazing. Now, as the thing said, this man really gained most of his popularity by going on this show. Now, many of you may not, be able to watch this show as much as you used to, because now it's behind a paywall on Netflix. But back in the good old days, when you could watch this show on YouTube, I remember a lot of people were watching this show, and they were first introduced to this man through, of course, The Breakfast Club, and his partner clearly says that. His business partner, DJ Envious. All right. So what is The Breakfast Club? Breakfast Club is a New York-based radio show where I believe they focus on hip hop, but then they started veering off into subject matters that they're not experts in. What's the problem with that? Well, the problem is when you veer off into subject matters that you may not be very good with, someone can tell you anything and you have no idea if they're being truthful or not. See, it's a different thing, right? If you have some rapper sitting across from you and you are in the culture, hip hop, you can ask them questions about their record sales or ask them about inspirations behind certain lyrics. But when you have a multi-million-dollar real estate expert in front of you, you may not know if they're legit or not. But that's not an issue with Cesar Pina, because clearly he's the real deal. Cesar is legitimate. Remember, international best-selling author. All right. What else do we have here? Okay, we see Cesar Pina and DJ Envious. They're working together in the tri-state area, hosting different seminars because they want to give back to the community. Remember, people, it's always about the little guys, not about putting money in your pocket. It's about sharing knowledge and teaching generational wealth. Anytime you hear generational wealth, know that you're in good hands. That person is clearly looking out for you. Once again, real estate seminars, Cesar Pina and Envy, right? Envy, they're together. They're one unit. All right. Now, this was surprising, very surprising. The good brothers over there on Earn Your Leisure not only interviewed this man, but it seems as if they were able to verify the man's net worth. they were able to verify his net worth. It says real estate mogul, right? Real estate mogul left jail with no money and a felony. Seems pretty interesting. Seems very interesting. Says hold on, let me make sure. He left jail with no money and a felony. But 13 short years later, his net worth is over $65 million. $65 million. That's a pretty high number. $65 million net worth. You know you're in good hands when they have over $50 million worth of net worth. All right. Here we are again. We get to see the whole crew here, right? Must be a room full of due diligence, right? A room full of due diligence. We have the Earn Your Leisure guys, DJ Envy, and right there in the middle, of course, we have Cesar Pina. He's got to be on top of the world right now. on top of the world. So the question we have to ask ourselves, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the question is, what are we doing here? What are we doing on Pocket Watching with JT? It was all good just a week ago. We got the $65 million man vetted by Earn Your Leisure. We've got the $65 million real estate mogul partnered by DJ Envious. What's the worst that could happen? Well, according to the federal government, it's not me. Pocket Watching with JT did not do this investigation. But according to the United States of America, it seems as if this guy, Cesar Pina, is committing fraud. He's committing fraud on a large scale. Seems a bit odd. I want to give a special shout out to two friends of the show. We have Tony the Closer and we have Star of the Star Report. These two gentlemen played a huge role in blowing the whistle on what was going on. Of course, Tony the Closer was the first one to really let people know what was going on. A lot of the victims were flooding his DMs and he got the word out. And then, of course, Star from Star Report carried that banner and kept it going. So shouts out to them. If you don't know that content, you got to go over there and check them out. Go subscribe to their channels. But let's bring this back. How could it be? All right. Maybe you guys can let me know. Let me know in the chat. But how could it be a man who changed his life, who dipped his toe into the world of crime at one point, but then got out of it? How could this happen 2 times? Let's just think about this. The good brothers over there at Earn Your Leisure, they already said, hey, this man left jail with no money and a felony. Let's have a conversation about why he went to jail in the first place. This may be surprising to you, but if you actually watch the interviews and you listen to this man explain why he went to jail in the first place, you may be surprised. He said that he went to jail for fraud. Yeah. Yep. He said he originally was in jail in the early 2000s for fraud. Yeah, let's talk about this story real quick. The man said that he was dibbling and dabbling in drug trafficking, but it was not the drug trafficking that ended up making him go behind bars. It was, I believe, credit card fraud. Yeah. Credit card fraud. Then he said that while he was in prison, he ended up meeting a benevolent white man who also was in prison, and they had a meeting of the minds. They exchanged skill sets. This benevolent white man was a real estate expert, maybe a real estate mogul. I forget the exact terms that he used, but a man who knew how to make money in real estate. And Cesar, he knew how to survive in prison. So these two men got together behind bars and they exchanged what they could. The benevolent white man taught Cesar Pina all about the real estate game. And Cesar Pina taught the white man how to survive behind bars. Now, I know what you're thinking. This sounds like a very bad plot to a Tubi movie, but this is the reality that this man was telling people for years. All right? For years, this man was telling people that his wealth of knowledge from real estate came from prison because of a benevolent white man who taught him real estate, while he was able to keep that white man alive from his street knowledge of how to survive in prison. Okay. Sounds like a good story to me. I mean, listen, Tubi is free. I'll sit back and click on that thumbnail for that movie 9 times out of 10. 9 times out of 10, I'm watching that movie. But once again, we got to talk about the problem. The problem is this. Is it that surprising that a man who openly admits that he was involved in drug trafficking, who admits that he was a convicted felon for committing fraud, all of a sudden a lot of people gives him money and he commits fraud again? I'm not exactly sure how some people are confused, but okay. All right, we'll keep this going. I want you to focus on something here. This is the press release that the federal government put out when they first arrested this man, I believe. It says, New Jersey real estate investor and online influencer. Always a red flag when online influencer is added to your title, but okay. Charged with committing multi-million-dollar investment fraud scheme. All right. Laundering drug proceeds. Hold on. Simple investment fraud isn't enough. It isn't enough just to take people's money and run away with it. You're also laundering drug money. All right. And then to sprinkle a little something on top, bribing New Jersey politicians. Oh, okay. All right. I feel like these urban podcasts and radio hosts, they have no spider sense, right? No spider sense going on. Like you can't, I mean, a guy who's doing this much, you can't kind of feel something shady going on. Like me, just looking at the fella, just looking at him makes me feel like everything's not on the up and up. The fact that you are a convicted felon for fraud is already the no-go for the pocket watcher. But when you add the fact that this man is laundering drug money, according to the federal government, bribing politicians, according to the federal government, seems a bit odd. See, once again, that whole flipping keys as the title of your autobiography seems to be a bit of a red flag. It's like he was snitching on himself. His autobiography is flipping keys. But okay, it's all right. Let's take a look at this timeline real quick. This is according to the federal government. It says that between the dates of 2017 and 2024, Pina was soliciting retail investors nationwide for real estate, remodel, and flips projects. November the 14th, 2018, Pina used a company called Wirehouse LLC to purchase property in New Jersey for approximately $225,000. Between 2018 and 2019, he buys a school, right, in the New Jersey area. Now, he has to submit a variance application to the local government. What is a variance? A variance application is basically you're going to the zoning board saying, hey, I have a property that is zoned for one particular use, and I want to zone it for another use. It's an industrial area now, but I want to turn it into something different. I want to turn it to residential. I want to turn this school into apartments. Okay. Now, it says that from 2019 to 2022, Pina provides a stream of cash, checks, and real estate listing commissions totaling roughly $50,000 to individual number 2, who is a Patterson city official and a licensed realtor. All right. From 2020 to April 2023, Pina conspires to conduct transactions to disguise and launder what he believed to be illicit narcotics distribution proceeds. So apparently he's dealing with dope boys. He's dealing with a lot of dope boys, and he's trying to wash their money clean, right? trying to wash their money clean. All right. Okay. It says Pina directs assistant individual number 3 to pay cash bribes of $2,500 to individual number 2 to secure scheduling and favorable votes before the zoning board. Now, from January 2021 to March 2023, Pina solicits multiple investors for property number 2 without disclosing existing mortgages or previous investors. So what's going on here? He has a property. He's already has investors who put money in that property. He then turns around and uses the same property to get more money for the property. Okay? This is fraud. You have a bunch of people throwing money into one property. Each of them believe they're the only investor. They believe that when the property sells, there'll be enough margin between what you bought it for, what you put in it, and then what you sell it for. That's what we refer to as profit. And if there's 1 or 2 investors, there's enough profit for everybody. But when there's multiple investors on the same property, there's not enough profit to go around. That seems to be a problem. Now, it says here that on March 2021, August 2022, text exchange show individual 2, that's the politician, manipulating the zoning board schedule and contacting the zoning board chairman regarding Pina's school project. Remember, Pina's trying to get a school and flip it into an apartment. In order to do that, you got to get government approval. So he said, I'm going to pay some people off. This is according to the federal government. Now, on March the 7th, 2022, individual 2 cashes a $18,132 real estate commission check that was funneled through Pina's property to the person for the bribe. August 29, 2022, victim number 1 wires $600,000. Let that soak in for a second. Just let that soak in. Most people in this country, let alone around the world, most people in this country will never have $600,000 liquid. $600,000 liquid. They wire $600,000 to Cesar Pina. Why? I'm thinking it's because he has DJ Envy. DJ Envy as a partner. He's going around all these podcasts. EYL said that he's a $65 million mogul. All right. Victim number 2, October the 5th, 2022. Victim number 2 wires $400,000 to Cesar Pina. All right. December the 20th and 27, 2022, Pina launders money in 2 financial transactions involving funds presented by undercover law enforcement as illegal drug proceeds. Hold on. They got you with the undercover? Listen, man, y'all supposed to be from the East Coast. Remember, I'm just a humble, small town country financial advisor, right? I'm not as slick as you East Coast boys. Yeah, East Coast boys are supposed to be quick, fast, ready with the hustle. I'm a small town country financial advisor. They got you with the undercover sting? Undercover, and then they're telling you that this is drug money, and you're like, oh, don't worry about it. I can clean it up. And then, of course, July the 7th, 2025, a federal grand jury returns a true bill indictment on 6 criminal counts. All right. So what you see on the screen here is one of the victims that the federal government alleges that Cesar Pina and his business partners were tricking out of their money. Now, this man has gone on the big time news outlets and told his story. But a special treat for you, for the pocket watchers, I got a chance to interview the man. I believe he's in the chat right now. But I want you to hear directly from this man and understand how he got into this investment scheme, who he blames for this. And when we talked, he took responsibility. He said that he could have done a much better job in his own due diligence, but he talks about how he got into it, who he blames for it, and where they are today. So let me bring this up, and you can hear from the man yourself.
I do blame InvestFest. And let me just tell you, this guy Rashad Bilal, his name is Rashad. He blocked me on IG because I went on his IG and was trying to reach out to him and stating that he didn't vet Cesar and Envy, and he blocked me. But for as much as EYL has done, and we have to give him a little credit for at least having a positive effect on making the public aware of investments and finance, they fall very short on vetting the people who are on their platform. Cesar and Envy, Jay Morrison, Big Business, him 500. All of these people are scamming our people. All right, it's just straight like that. My name is Nigel Chamberlain. I'm out of New York. I've been in real estate for the past 24 years. Well, it basically started in August of 2022. I was invited by a friend of mine to InvestFest in Atlanta. So I went August of 2022. I got there the weekend. It was on the weekend, but I got there like a couple of days before, and we had all access passes to a couple of events the days prior. At one of the events, I see Cesar Pina. And obviously I recognized him from being advertised on The Breakfast Club with DJ Envy. So I approached him. We had a conversation. I said, hey, I'm in real estate in New York. I understand what you do. Would be interested in partnering up with you on different ventures. I'm associated with a few people who would also be interested in putting up capital. So he was kind of hesitant at first, but then he took my number. And then later on that evening, while I was back at the hotel, he texted me and said, this is my number, lock it in, this is Cesar. I said, okay, great. We stayed in contact from August of 2022 right through to December of August 2022, checking in month to month with each other, so to speak. And then in December of 2022, he approached me and said he wanted to start a hard money fund for $100 million. And I said, okay, do you have a deck? And he said, yes. So he sends me the deck, and the deck is incredible. The deck was done, from my understanding, by a guy named Marcus Asante, who has a background in finance, from what I understood, one of Cesar's associates, friends at the time. So I send the deck to my mentor, and my mentor calls me back and says, this looks interesting, set a meeting. So we set a meeting I think it was January of 2023 in the Empire State Building offices of my mentor. And then from there were meetings for 5 months past that. So January, February, March, April, and May. So that's how initially I came to meet Cesar. I was also at InvestFest. Obviously, I sat in on a lot of the assemblies and conferences they had. I was there when DJ Envy was on stage sitting next to rapper T.I., speaking about 180 doors that he had that he was renting, and on and on and on. Of course, all of that turned out to be lies. This was supposed to be a hard money fund that was going to be promoted by DJ Envy in all of his markets. And I believe he's in 90 markets, if I'm not mistaken, over the airwaves on iHeartMedia. And DJ Envy was brought into the second meeting by Marcus Asante via a laptop and Zoom. So DJ Envy actually appeared by Zoom at our second meeting. with my mentor and Cesar and his people and our people. We were discussing a hard money fund for 5 months. Things were going so well. In the 4th month, we actually had a celebratory dinner. Cesar and his wife attended, my mentor, his wife, and his daughter attended. Of course, I attended. DJ Envy was supposed to attend, but did not attend. That was one of the flags. And in the 5th month, my mentor smelled a rat, so to speak, and called me and said he's backing out of the deal. He said Cesar wants too much control of his capital, and he said that's never going to happen. So he sniffed it out. Before the 5th month and after the celebratory dinner, I'm sitting thinking that once we launched this hard money fund, because at that point I was thinking, and we were all thinking the deal was going to move forward. I says, I'm going to have to continue, because I was house flipping at the time. And I said, I'm going to have to continue house flipping because we're not going to see any profits from a hard money fund for at least 10 months. So I can't sit around doing anything. So I was talking to Cesar about it, and Cesar gave me the golden opportunity to come and flip houses with him. And he subsequently showed me 3 houses in Jersey, all vacant. He was telling me that he was going to get them from auction.com, and he had to connect with auction.com. And, I went and saw the houses. Everything looked fine. And I made the mistake, because I want to take partial responsibility, of not doing my due diligence as far as doing title searches and such, because I would have found out at that point that there were like 10, 15 people on each house. So he was basically stacking the investors. And what he was doing also was taking all of these houses that he acquired, because he had acquired these houses long before. He was bundling them and then taking commercial loans against them. So I wired him the money, and that's how he kind of basically lined me up in the scam. I wired him $835,000 in April of 2023. And so basically when you get these houses, you get the houses, you renovate them, which takes about a month and a half, give or take. Then you put them on the market. They might stay on the market maybe another 2, maybe 3 months. And then eventually they sell. So we were way before that. And how I found out was Tony, the closer, who all of us credit with breaking this story. He was very instrumental in breaking the story and letting the public know that there was a scam going on. So I didn't even get to a point with Cesar where I was requesting the houses be put on the market and sold and a profit be made, and I get promised what I was promised. Obviously, he's under house arrest with an ankle monitoring bracelet in Franklin Lakes, New Jersey. So that's how that kind of went, JT. We've been dragging Envy in court for the last 3 years. Trials coming up 2027 of March. DJ Envy and iHeartMedia were very successful in having a number of people invest with Cesar and DJ Envy. This is upwards of an $80 million scheme. There's an active federal investigation still going on. A lot of the victims, most of us, have been in contact with the federal authorities for the last 3 years, and we've given them everything and told them everything. And as far as DJ Envy getting on the radio and saying he did not know about the scam, that's a total lie. He knew about the scam probably a year and a half before, because there's people, one of them, he's on Instagram. His name is Omi and the Hellcat. I believe he just came out of federal prison. He's done his time, and good for him. And I'm happy that he's out. But he went to DJ Envy and asked DJ Envy, should he invest with Cesar? And DJ Envy told him, no, do not invest with him. I believe he was supposed to invest $3 million. But this is all while DJ Envy was on the air, still promoting Cesar. I believe, as far as DJ Envy goes, he said he put up $500,000 for a school. And what DJ Envy was probably trying to do, and if you think about it, you can only come to one conclusion. He was basically still trying to get people in to invest so he could be paid off and plain off. So basically, under the massive Ponzi scheme, maybe Envy had in his mind to do a pyramid scheme so he can be bought out. So if DJ Envy didn't know what was going on and he feels he was robbed, how come he's not suing Cesar? There's a lot of questions there, but we have a lot of evidence against Envy. a mountain full of evidence, it's highly unlikely he will be successful in these lawsuits.
All right. That was a lot, right? That was a lot. Now, never let it be said that the pocket watcher is biased, right? Never let it be said that JT only looks for the bad things. I actually do my own due diligence, and I have to say, I got to fact check my brother. Now, Nigel is a victim, but I got to fact check him on this one point. He said that during the Invest Fest presentation, when DJ Envious was sitting right next to rapper T.I., he claimed that he had 180 units. That's what Nigel said. And I have to let him know I looked into it, and that's incorrect. That's not what he said. Based on my own research, and shouts out to Tony the Closer, I was able to find this on his Instagram page. He actually said, at least what I have here, that he had over 300 units is what he said on that Invest Fest stage. Yeah, 307. There we go. 300, yeah, 370 plus units is what he said on that Invest Fest stage. But according to Nigel, and shouts out to Nigel, he's in here with us, that when DJ Envious got deposed, now for those of you who have never had to deal with a lawsuit, shouts out to you. But when you are in civil litigation, there is an opportunity for depositions. Depositions is an opportunity to sit a person down under oath, have it recorded, have it transcribed, and you can ask them questions. And apparently, during DJ Envious's deposition, he admitted that he didn't have 300 plus units. He didn't have 100 plus units. I believe he had less than 5. Less than 5 units is what he said in the deposition, according to the information that I got from Nigel. So we just got to make sure that we're fact checking over here. We won't, just let any type of slander go on. We'll double check. But yeah, DJ Envious said he had over 300 units, but under oath, he had less than 5. So shouts out to that. Now, this is Cesar Pina on that Invest Fest stage as well. You see him on stage talking about investing opportunities and how, he's a mogul. Now, remember, Earn Your Leisure gave him that rubber stamp, said that he is a $65 million man, real estate mogul. What's the lesson here? I want to make sure that I'm very clear on what I'm trying to do. The lesson that we're trying to teach, and I'll say it over and over and over again, you can be whatever you want to be on the internet. See, on the internet, you can be a real estate mogul worth $65 million on the internet. But when you're sitting down, getting deposed, when the feds come after you, the story may be a little bit different. So what we need to do as a collective, as a community, we have to do a little bit more digging into a person's background. Please do not allow these podcast hosts to make you think that they're actually vetting their guests. I remember when Him 500, shouts out to Him 500. They call him Slim 500 now. The man lost a lot of weight. So shouts out to Slim 500. But Him 500, when he openly admitted that the only reason why he was featured on a full episode of $1 Million Worth of Game, right? He was featured on the full episode of $1 Million Worth of Game. It makes you ask the question, why? Why would $1 million worth of game, a podcast that normally interviews celebrities, rappers, why would they interview him 500, a man who has his own history of being a convicted felon? Why would they interview this man? Anybody ever scratch your head and say, why would they interview a so-called real estate expert, him 500, who's a convicted felon? Why would they interview him? Well, according to him 500, he paid them $50,000. This is what him 500 said, not me. Him 500 said he paid them $50,000 to get on that platform. But if you watch the episode, there's no mention of Payola. They don't say that, hey, this guy gave us $50,000. Let's hear what he has to say. I believe that they actually made it sound as if him 500 was the financial savior of the Black community. Listen, I'm telling you, do yourself a favor. If it's still up, go watch at least the first 20, 15 minutes. Go watch the $1 million worth of game, him 500 episode. Go watch it. If they keep it up, go watch it. You would be led to believe that him 500 is financial Jesus Christ for the Black community. You would believe that somehow, some way, him 500 has saved the lives of these brothers, the way that they talk them up. Only later to come around and find out that he gave them a paper bag full of $50,000. That's the only reason he was on the show. He would never be on the show otherwise. What does that mean? That means everything you see on the internet, you have to verify it. All of this could be fake. I could be fake. You don't know. Am I really a certified financial planner? You don't know. I just say I am. I just say I am. You have no idea if I am or not. You don't know. Now, I know that there's something that you can do to find out. Something, somewhat simple, what you can do, but you have to take my word for it if you're unwilling to do the research. See, if you're unwilling to do the research, there's nothing I can do to help you. But here's some of the things that you guys can do, because I want you to protect yourself at all costs. Protect yourself, because these guys, talking about the grifters and the scammers, these guys are trying to pick your pockets clean. They're trying to do anything they can to get the money that's in your pocket into their pockets. So how can you verify these people are who they say they are? Here's one thing that you could do, right? You can use good old Google. Good old Google, and you can just check and see if people are who they say they are. Now, this is a website. This is my website. On this website, it talks about my background, who I am, my education. But see, anybody can make a website. Yeah, it says I'm a certified financial planner. It talks about my education, but anybody can do that. So you need to go to the source. See, if you actually go to the source and you go to the CFP board, here I am listed as a certified financial planner. It has my background. It shows different disclosures. It says, does he have any disciplinary action? No disciplinary action. Did he file for bankruptcy? Any bankruptcies in his history? No bankruptcies. So no fraud, no bankruptcy. I guess I'm doing okay. But you got to check, because if you don't check, I could just be talking. So listen, this is what I want y'all to do. I am wrapping this episode up, but we have the after show, okay? The after show is only for my members. It's a question and answer. I believe Nigel is going to join us on the after show. I also invited Tony the Closure to pop up if he wanted to pop up. But as soon as I close this out, I'll be over there on the after show. The membership is $1. Costs you $1, but we're going to do question and answer about this episode and about whatever else you guys want to talk about. But I want to be clear. Being a victim of a grifter or a scammer is not an intelligent test. It doesn't mean you're dumb. It doesn't mean you're a sucker. It just means you were in the wrong place at the wrong time and you got. Now, there are some things that you can do to try to protect yourself. And this is what I'm trying to help you guys with. I got the Pocket Watcher 7 Money Rules. What is this? These are 7 steps that I have come up with over my career as a small town financial advisor. But over my career, I've come up with 7 things that can help you manage your money better. I'm talking about budgeting, emergency savings, debt planning, insurance planning, tax planning, wealth planning, and estate planning. You follow these 7 money rules. I can't guarantee you'll be a $65 million real estate mogul, but you will be in a better spot and not live paycheck to paycheck. Now, if you need help, I have a free financial planning app. Just go to the website, pocketwatcher.net. Sign up for the free financial planning app. Inside of that app, you can start working on your budget. You can start paying off your debt. And I have a video course, step-by-step, 100% free, of how to follow the 7 Pocket Watcher money rules. And if you have a financial question for the Pocket Watcher, let's say maybe you owe the IRS some back money. Maybe you're living paycheck to paycheck. You don't know if you're going to be able to retire. You can get a free phone consultation from me, Pocket Watching with JT. Apparently, I'm a real certified financial planner. That's what the website says. But you can get a free phone consultation from me. Just click the button on the website, pocketwatcher.net. Sign up for the free phone consultation. Make sure you call the office at the day and time that you booked, and I do the best I can to get you guys some help. So we are going over to the after show Q&A for all the Pocket Watchers, the channel members. I'll see you guys there soon. The Pocket Watcher is out.
Are you looking for real financial advice? Thornton Financial is here to help. Certified Financial Planner Jayson Thornton specializes in tax and wealth planning. Are you living paycheck to paycheck with no retirement plan? Do you need help with the IRS? Book your free consultation with Thornton Financial today. Budgeting, savings, debt management, and retirement. Even tax debt settlements. Get the advice you need to live your best life. Book your free consultation appointment today. Go to www.thornton-financial.com.